Weekend off. Yeah, it took the weekend off. What can I say?
Everything you just said, no one heard.
My mic wasn't on?
No. Yeah, I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah, so is sound there now?
It's there now.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed watching me pantomime using binoculars and explain the binoculars and understood my pantomimization. So there you go. So back to the beginning. Hi, everybody. The third time I've tried this. Hi, everybody. Welcome to... Born.
What were you born ready for?
Born ready.
Everything?
Everything. Chaos.
There we go. 2, 1. Now you're on.
Hi, everybody. For the fourth time, welcome to How Do You Know Monday from Explore Scientific. Got to have fun when things start going wrong. So, camera was on, microphone wasn't, camera wasn't on, microphone wasn't on, microphone was on, then the output wasn't rigged. Yeah, and it just, you know, great fun.
But my mic was on the whole time.
So, appreciate everybody over there in the chat letting us know, but the chat computer wasn't up either. So, you know, anyway, we're going to be talking about magnification today. Magnification in the nation. This is the Bresser 6x21 kids binocular. That's how it's marketed, but these are real binoculars, folks. These binoculars have a generous focus, all glass magnification inside, or elements inside, has a diopter, so you can adjust the right eye for your right eye. Fantastic pair of binoculars, especially for the price point over in the Explore Scientific store. You can find it at explorescientific.com. Questions come in? Question?
What do we have? What is there any news on the How Do You Know front? Dr. Bart's going to be on today at 4.
Right. He's going to start coming in, I think, maybe next week. He's been doing a little bit of traveling and stuff and been tied up and can't come in. Should be. Yeah, I have not heard he's not. So Dr. Barth will be on, and I don't know what his subject matter is. So
It'll be something very difficult.
It'll be simple concepts.
Last week it was good. I liked it.
Oh, you know,
It was very difficult.
it's very deep, very deep. Good, good.
It wasn't about the ocean.
Hey Noah, can you move the monitor so I can see it, please? Because I have to turn almost 90 degrees to be able to see it, and it just looks sort of odd. So. Go that way. That's better.
Talking to our audience, we're not on Amazon. It's okay.
Yeah, we can say. We can say go to the Explore Scientific store.
If there's any updates on anything coming out this week that we want
No, I need to get the Bino viewers on. I'll probably do those Wednesday. The new Bino viewers that we have in stock. They come with 52 degree, 25. We've only got stock of one pair. We get those in, they sell out real quick. One SKU in stock. I'll look and see. Maybe we do those as well. Sure.
If we don't have any stock of something, I guess.
Yeah, we shouldn't really talk about much that we don't have stock for, other than build up demand for it. So, anyway, the Explore Scientific, or the Bresser kids binoculars, beautiful red and yellow, fun colors. Trying to stick to the subject. Stick it to it like stink to chicken feet. So has a neck strap on it with emergency breakaway pieces. So if they get hung, it won't, you know, strangle your child. Really, you know, well, safe design as well. And we're going to jump from that over to some high magnification. Binoculars are just two telescopes side by side. Now we're going to jump over to a telescope. This is the First Light Maxitov Cassegrain 127 millimeter, 5-inch telescope on a twilight nano mount. The mount is a simple, as you can see, left, right, up, down mount. Very simple, very intuitive to use. Telescope comes with a red dot finder, with a smartphone adapter and a 25 millimeter super Plossl eyepiece right here. Good for planetary and brighter objects. It has such a long focal length. This has a focal length of 1900, so it's going to generate a lot of magnification. Sir?
We're only seeing glare because it needs to turn sideways. All I see is glare off the light.
Is that better?
The other way would be better. You can see the mouth and everything.
Like that? Is that better? Okay. And here's the smartphone adapter. Looking at the monitor, right there's a smartphone adapter with the eyepiece installed. So simply goes into the focusing tube with the diagonal that comes with it, a 90-degree diagonal, so you can just look down at the telescope and use the focus control to focus it. A really nice telescope. My dad had one and enjoyed it immensely. The 5-inch aperture and the long focal length give you really good magnification and a bright image. Fainter objects tend to be harder to see in this, so really good for planetary, the moon, things like that are just right in the wheelhouse of this telescope. No comments. It says we have 3 new comments, but I can't see them. Okay, nice Mac. Been thinking about getting a Mac for a while now. That's James Dugan, one of our friends from down under in Australia. James, thank you for the comment. Sooner or later, we all end up, if we like telescopes, with a whole different field day of telescopes. Osmosis 007, a license to, I'm trying to make a joke there with osmosis, a license to reverse purify. I've got the 127 Mac, love it. Get the EQ3 Nano, looking for a go-to system. Any recommendations? Osmosis 007, I would say go with the, it'll fit, I'm trying to think of the weight of the telescope. It'll be a little bit heavy for the Exos 100, although it'll work. I have a friend on here, JR, we've done a little bit of work with him over the years. JR has an IEXOS 100 that he uses a 180 millimeter Maksutov Cassegrain to do planetary work. He will use this telescope, the telescope on the Exos 100 mount, has 24 pounds of telescope and cameras, and I believe he's running at 18 pounds of counterweight. So when you go to that level, you're gonna have to make sure your balance is really good. A little bit camera heavy or front heavy, whichever, but always just get it both ways, and use it the same way every time. Camera heavy and counterweight heavy, or whichever way. I can't see what Osmosis says. Osmosis 2007 says kills on planetary. Absolutely, it's a planet killer. All Cassegrain telescopes, Schmidt Cassegrains, Maksutov Cassegrains, are great for planets.
How big can I get the planet in the eyepiece to use that Mac?
That's a classic comment from somebody who craves magnification.
No.
And I will tell you that you can't.
Planet viewers, how big does it get? That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to get it.
It depends on what the sky will give you at that point.
Well, let's pretend it's 70% good.
It is very difficult to explain sizes in eyepieces. I would suggest if we're going to do that, we could use a program that will give us examples of what different eyepieces would look like in this telescope. I can see it in my mind. I'm trying to pull it out of my photographic memory, which is not really photographic. It's just photocopying, maybe. Put eyepiece. I can't think of it. I can't pull it out of my head. You can Google.
Calculator?
Yes, that's it. Field of view calculator.
Oh, man. This is a bunch of information. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a bunch of information. Yeah, absolutely.
What
It may or may not be in there. So
MA.
put in Explore Scientific 127 millimeter. I don't remember what the search function is. You can put in the focal. You can put in the focal. You can put in the focal length and aperture, and it'll figure it out for you. You don't have to have a name. You just put in a focal length of 1900.
Focal length 1900. Okay.
And aperture of 127 millimeters. And then
Length of what?
focal length of 1900,
Aperture
127.
7. Field of view 280.
No, there's no field of view to calculate yet. You have to put the eyepiece in. You have to put the eyepiece in. Let's use an 82 6.5.
It doesn't do that way. Pop up this thing so you can see it on the other. We're learning something on the fly.
Well, we means him.
Yeah.
Everybody else is learning too.
To deal with this on the fly. That's what I mean. Now, there it is on the screen. That's what I'm dealing with. The field of view, it asks for a field of view. Focal ratio, magnification, field of view, exit pupil, gauze limit, Messier, solar. That's all I got. See?
Reset it. Hit imaging mode and then go back to visual mode. Oh, you're okay. Your aperture is 127 millimeters. Change. Well, yeah, but you got to have it, or else
No, that's fine.
use the 82 degree. Yeah, I mean,
Do we even have 70 degrees anymore?
yeah, sort of. I mean, we sell them.
What do you want me to use? Which one?
Use the 8214. Go down, go down. Well, I'm seeing it 30 seconds behind you. Use 8214. Click Add to View.
That's what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You know, people crave this. You know, they want to see things like what they see pictures of, and that's not the way telescopes work. You know, those are pictures. You can change it to, you know, an 82 6.5. Go up to the top again. Go up there and put.
But what?
Add to View.
Okay, I did already.
Change the focal length 4.7. Change it to 3. I think we have it. Yeah.
3.
So that's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like with a, what is that? A 4.7 millimeter eyepiece.
If the sky is clear.
If the sky will give it to you.
Yeah, it's probably wrong.
And that's inside of the yellow circle, right?
It's not a green.
And what size eyepiece is that now?
4.7.
Okay, it's the 4.7. So
Really, you're probably going to get 14, but probably won't.
I mean, you know, the sky gives you viewing like that once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
If unless you live in, you know, dry desert atmosphere, or down into the Florida Keys where you get laminar airflow every once in a while. All the air is the exact same density and temperature, and you can get some really good views down there as well. So, Paul, it is 3 minutes till. Probably need to going to get ready for Amazon Live mode. Y'all come over to Amazon Live. There's my first sneeze of the day.
The lights, man.
It's the lights. Has to be the lights, or you, one or the other. Allergic to you. Because you come in my office and I don't sneeze, so it has to be the lights. Anyway, we're going to go to standby and count down into Amazon Live. We'll see you back. We're going to keep the social media stream up as well and go to Amazon Live. See you over there in a few minutes, everybody. Thanks a lot. Talk to you again in a few minutes. Hey everybody, Kent Martz here with Explore Scientific. Welcome to How Do You Know? It's Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. Spent the entire weekend outside in the sun, literally from effectively sunup to sundown, umpiring youth baseball. I've got a healthy rosy red. This is all courtesy of the sun, and thank you for sunscreen from keeping me from getting sunburned. And as my dermatologist, digging in the ground and planting cucurbits and cantaloupes and watermelons. Pumpkins are cucurbits. They are. They're a cucurbit. Look it up. They are not a gourd. Pumpkins are cucurbit. They're cucumbers. I am not gourd. So anyway, by the way, my dermatologist will tell you put sunscreen on the top of your ears if you want to keep the tops of your ears. So do that. I think it's smart advice. Today, we're going to be talking about magnification and how do you know about magnification. First off, we're going to start off with the Bresser 6x21 binoculars. Now, these are fun colors. They're marketed for kids, but these are a real pair of binoculars. Like my dad did, he bought my brother and I good adult fishing equipment, and we learned to love to fish. If you buy a kid a good pair of binoculars, even a small pair of binoculars like the Bresser 6x21s, these have glass lenses in them. These are not cheap plastic, toys. These are real pair of binoculars. Has, like I said, glass in it. It has a diopter, so you can adjust the right eyepiece focus. So you can focus for your left eye and then focus for your right eye. This is the real deal when it comes to binoculars. These are marketed as kids' binoculars. I'm telling you, these are great binoculars. If you want to go do some astronomy or bird watching or something with your kids, how about you buy a pair for yourself as well? So when you go out with your child or neighbor kid or grandchild or nephew or niece, whatever, you're using the same binoculars they're using. That's going to make your kid feel better, feel special, because you're using the same thing they're using. You're not sitting there using a $500 pair of binoculars or $100 pair of binoculars. Using the same binoculars they're using, that's going to make them feel special, and they're going to enjoy using the binoculars that you're using it's going to really make their lives, unique in that they feel like you use the same thing you use. Great pair of binoculars right here. Great interpupillary distance. Great eye relief. For the price, this is a spectacular pair of binoculars. But 6 means they have 6 power eyepieces, which means they magnify by a factor of 6. So you see something like you're 6 times closer than you are, or think about it another way, it's 6 times larger than you see it right now from where you stand. 21 millimeter, the second number, talks about how much light gathering capacity, how big this circle is. It's 21 millimeters in diameter. So 6 power binoculars. Now let's jump up the magnification just a little bit. And we're going to talk about the Microscope Cassegrain from the First Light series of telescopes from Explore Scientific. This is a Microscope Cassegrain, which means it's got a piece of glass there in the front. You can see that glass corrector plate right here. It starts bending the light and gets it ready and corrects the curvature that happens when it goes, reflects off of this mirror that's right here. So light comes in, reflects off a curved mirror, starts coming to a focus. So it reflects off the mirror, comes straight back towards the front of the telescope, getting smaller and smaller. You can see that black circle right there on the back side of it. There's a mirror. It reflects it back out the back of the telescope, comes out right here, goes into this 90-degree diagonal, reflects off a mirror, comes out the eyepiece where you see it. Now, while this is a very short tube, it has very long focal length. This tube has a focal length of 1900 millimeters because the light gets folded up inside. So it's a very compact telescope, but it has a very, very long focal length. That focal length generates the first part of the equation of magnification. The second part that controls magnification is the eyepiece. Now, this telescope package comes with, in addition to this smartphone adapter, it comes with a 25 millimeter super plossal eyepiece. So we know 25 will go into 100. That's right, 4 times. So what power is it? It's 1900 divided by 25. So we know it goes into 4, so it'd be 19 times 25. Paul, what's that math? Don't want to even try and do that math in my head. Noah can get it. Do 1900 divided by 25. It's going to be 72, 76. I almost got it. I came up with 72, 76 power.
I'm doing something else over here.
So this will give you magnification of 76 power. Now, Microscope Cassegrains and Schmidt Cassegrain telescopes are often called planet killers, and they're called planet killers for a reason. Hey, Noah, you want to get me up on Amazon Live over here so I can see that chat function? Thank you very much, sir. The Microscope Cassegrains, Schmidt Cassegrains are called planet killers because they have that long focal length, and people want to see the planets bigger. At low magnification, they're small and often appear very crisp. And on nights where the sky gives it to you, you can really apply the magnification and really get the planets looking a lot bigger in a telescope. People crave that magnification. The issue becomes, does the sky give you that? So, we've talked about how the binoculars, 6 power eyepieces, tells you what the magnification is. Now, if you change the eyepiece is simply going to, depending on which way you go, if you go to a bigger number like a 40, it's going to decrease the magnification because it's division. For instance, 40 will go into 100 2.5 times, right? Okay. If we go down to a 20 millimeter eyepiece, a 20 millimeter eyepiece will go into 100. That's right, 5 times. So if you cut the number in half from 40 to 20, you double the magnification because it's division. So this is a Microscope Cassegrain First Light telescope, 127 millimeter aperture with 1900 millimeters of focal length, and it's on a Twilight Nano in this case. We also sell it on an equatorial, which is the kind with the head that goes around that mimics the rotation of the Earth. This is a very intuitive tripod to use. It's simply left, right, and up and down. We call it the Twilight Nano. It's a great intuitive mount for people who aren't really familiar with a telescope. Very simple and straightforward to use. If you're familiar with telescopes and want an equatorial mount, we had a person a few minutes ago say, you know, this telescope on an equatorial mount is a great mount as well. Absolutely, we sell this in a version with a EQ3, it's what it's called, a lightweight tripod, just like this one right here. It's lightweight, but it's very sturdy and has an equatorial head instead of this Twilight Nano head. So we've talked about magnification going up, so we've made big things that are very far away look bigger, right? So what's the opposite way we could go? If we made big things that are very far away look bigger, the other way to go is microscopes. That's right, you got it. We're going to go to microscopes now, where magnification is figured a completely different way. So we're going to start off with the Explorer 1 20 power microscope, and we've got a picture of a penny that I took a few weeks ago to show you exactly what 20 power magnification looks like in the eyepiece. Paul will probably get that up here in a minute. This is
I got a question.
Oh, got a question here. What do you got, Paul?
Connor Bradley.
Connor Bradley.
Let's see here. Hang on.
By the way, while he's doing that, we have a chat function up here on Amazon Live. You feel free to chat us up, give us a howdy, a hey y'all, whatever, and
there
we'll
it is.
be happy to give you a shout out back. And there it comes. Evening, with my 8-inch aperture f6, I will see Jupiter great red spot, and how many bands will I see? Yes, with that telescope you'll be able to see the great red spot. The critical thing is to find a website that shows you when the great red spot is facing Earth. If it's facing Earth and you've got good conditions, you'll see the great red spot. Typically you see 2 bands, almost always, unless seeing is just terrible, and there's other less prominent bands as well, but typically you see 2 bands, one in the northern hemisphere of the planet and one in the southern hemisphere, but you most assuredly will be able to see the bands of Jupiter. You'll also be able to see the 4 Galilean moons, and if you Galilean, because those are the ones that Galileo could see in his telescope. If you can only see 3, one of 2 things is going on. Either there's a Galilean moon behind the planet, or there's a Galilean moon in front of the planet. And sometimes, when the planet is lined up correctly with its light source, the sun, you can see, or the moon is lined up correctly with the light source, the sun, you can see a shadow of that moon on the visible surface of Jupiter. Very cool to see a little tiny black dot moving across the face of Jupiter. You oftentimes can't see the moon, but you can see the moon's shadow, and eventually it's going to come out from in front of, and it'll be a little bump on the side of the planet. It'll grow bigger and bigger and bigger and then separate, and you'll see that a moon has come from in front of the planet. Likewise, if a moon is going to go behind the planet, you'll see it come up to it and then start disappearing behind it, and you can literally see it moving when that happens. When they're a long ways away from the planet, you can't really tell they're moving, but when one gets right up against the planet, you can actually see it move behind the planet. It is so cool. It's one of the few places in a telescope that you can see things literally move and change in front of your eyes. Where's another place? Well, the shadow line on the moon moves, but the moon itself doesn't change, but that changing shadow is another place. Can you think of another place as well that would show changes over very short time scales? Anybody out there? Yes, I heard somebody shout out, the sun. The sun, that's correct. The sun is a living, changing thing, and right now, I'm going to switch back to telescopes real quick because my segue went there. Right now, you can use a solar film sun catcher that'll go over the front of your telescope. It'll go right here, and you can look at sunspots, and you will see sunspots change before your eyes sometimes. Sometimes they don't change much. Other times you'll see them grow, change shape, move in comparison to nearby ones. Very cool to see that happen. The sun catchers come in a variety of sizes. You can get one that'll fit any telescope you have. Will come put together like this. Has 4 double-sided pieces of sticky tape that you'll put on 4 panels opposite. Also comes with 4 hard foam pieces. You're going to stick it to the tape and stick it to the tape, and as you can see, this one's been cut off. Why? Because it got cut off to match a specific diameter of a telescope. So I would do this like this. Set it down on a table, set the telescope on top of it, make a cut or a mark, remove the telescope, and then cut away a little bit less, because you want this to have to be forced onto or pushed onto the front of your telescope. You don't want it coming off in the wind or getting bumped, because if that happens, you're going to have unfiltered sunlight come out of your eyepiece, and if somebody's looking in it, it'll be very, 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 very bad for their eyes. It's very safe. Solar filters are completely safe if you buy it from a reputable source. As we saw in the great eclipse of 2017, there were lots of not reputable sources out there selling eclipse glasses, and thus they got recalled by Amazon because they couldn't discern which ones are good and which ones weren't, and that caused a big rush for people like Explore Scientific, who sells and is reputable and is a known entity. Don't buy eclipse glasses from somebody just because they say they're eclipse glasses and have an ISO number on them. That doesn't mean anything, because we saw plenty of cheap knockoffs that didn't use good solar film, dangerous film, or not even film at all. It just was plastic of some sort, as well as they had all the numbers and certifications printed on them. They just copied it off somebody else and then put in some cheap film and tried to make a quick buck, and they didn't care about your eyes. I care about your eyes. I care about your Mark 1R, right eyeball, and Mark 1L, left eyeball, because those are the only ones you get. We have the chat function up right now. You can join us here and give us a shout. We love to have conversations with our viewers. So back to microscopes. Paul had to leave the studio, so he does not have a picture up of this wee penny, but I'll describe what I see to you. I'm going to look in there, get my interpupillary distance set so I get true binocular vision. And there we go, get it focused. There we go. So if you look at the word liberty, let's look at the word liberty, shall we? Since it's right there. The word liberty takes up about 2/3 of the field of view. So if you look at the word liberty on a U.S. penny, it's taking up well over half of the field of view. That's 20 power of magnification. How do you calculate magnification? It's real simple. Magnification is the power of the objective lens times the power of the eyepiece. So Paul, if you can get up that penny, that would be really good, so they can see the date on this 1973 D penny we took a picture of. So
You sent it to somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it.
tell us, I've sent it to you multiple times, buddy-o.
You did not send it to me again after the last time.
I haven't sent it to you again after the last time. That's probably true. That's why it was the last time. So telescopes are division. It's focal length divided
I got it somewhere. I saw it
by
the other day. Let's look at it.
the focal length of the eyepiece. Telescopes magnify the eyepiece times the lens, the eyepiece in it. So the lens times the eyepiece gives you
There
the
we go.
magnification of the telescope. So I have some rocks here. After the show, I'm going to take some pictures of these with my iPhone to show you what some of these rocks look like. What are some of these rocks? Plant fossil, gritstone, phosphorite. Phosphorite's going to look pretty in there. And what's that? Can't see it. hard to see in this light, creates glare. So this is the Explorer 1
Here,
20
I
power
got your
microscope. Now you notice the light on this is coming from the top. On the standard microscope we're getting ready to look at, and that you've probably used to, the light comes from underneath and goes through a very thin specimen. There's old Abe Lincoln's face magnified. I thought we had the date as well.
We got it. Hang on.
It'll be coming up here in a minute.
It's suspense.
And you can see old Abe Lincoln's face. You can see most of his face fills the eyepiece. It gives you an idea. That's not it.
It is now.
It is now. It wasn't, though.
So
There we go. Oh, that's a 2020D. I guess we switched pennies.
that's the one you sent me.
Because the one I'm looking at now is a 1973D. So there you go. What does the D mean, Paul? Do you know?
That is the Denver Mint.
Bingo. It's the Denver Mint. I like peppermint better than... No, I like Denver Mint because it makes coins. Absolutely. So this is the Explorer 1 20X microscope. Going to shift gears up to a more traditional microscope, whereas that one's great for biological stuff. You know, looking at the top of things. This Discovery 900X microscope kit is designed to look at the wee little stuff at high magnification. That wee little stuff being prepared slides. So you get some prepared slides that come with it. I'm going to pull these out right now and get these ready. And here we go. The microscope comes out. Let me show you what all comes with this fine kit. So first off, you get some red dye and blue dye. It's just food grade dye. You can eat it and dye in your mouth and tongue and everything else that comes in contact with it, but it is food grade dye. You also get brine shrimp, which I grew up knowing as sea monkeys, and you get some sea salt that allows you to grow your own salt crystals. Now, comes with a hatchery, so you can grow your own brine shrimp. You can hatch them and watch them grow through their life cycles. You can suck them up with a little pipette and put them on the non-prepared slides and look at them yourself and watch their life cycles grow. We've also got a insect petri dish, so you can do all sorts of things there. It has a little cutter that you can use to prepare your own slides, right? The directions that you can download explain lots of experiments and how to use this to prepare your own slides. Let me get that pushed back up in there. And the nice thing about this is it comes with this kit that is great for keeping everything together, right? You want to keep everything together and not lose the pieces. That's what's great about this hard-sided carry case right here.
Where are all the slides?
Oh, the slides are right
Oh, they're hiding.
here. Yep. Also comes with some tweezers, a couple of vials, a beaker, some Pokey tools, a little not sharp.
Is that the
scalpel.
technical name?
Yes, it was a very technical name. It's in the directions somewhere, I'm sure.
Pokey tools?
So I'm going to put this hard-sided carry case away so we can talk about the heart of this system, and that is
The Pokey
this
tools.
microscope right here. This microscope is metal-bodied, has a hinge point so you can tip it to a very comfortable viewing angle. 2 AA batteries underneath the rubber base. Very simple to put in. It has a mirror. Let me see if I can get that mirror to shine right there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see the mirror right there. Before the creation of incandescent lights, they either had to use a firelight and reflect it up underneath it so the light came through the stage, or they had to use the sun, one or the other. So this microscope also comes with an LED. You just flip it over, and right there I think you can see the LED is on, off, on, off, on. That's how you turn it on right there. Pointed at the stage so the light is coming through the stage. And the stage, think about stage, that's where actors stand, right? So the stage is equipped with a hole in the middle of it that allows light to come through. It also has some colored filters in here. I'm trying to figure out where the colored filter is. A filter has popped out of this one. Wowzers. Okay, so I'll show you the color filter wheel. I know where it is. I saw it on the floor a little while ago. Going to disappear. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a piece of trash, but no. I know what it was. It was the red filter that goes right there. So we have red, blue, and green filters, or blue, red, and green filters, as well as some little holes right there that cut down the amount of light so you can reduce the contrast. This is one that came off of one that we took apart for pieces. So it comes with 5 prepared slides and 7 blank slides, so you can make your own slides, right? So we're going to go with the prepared slide of broad bean leaf. Now here's how you do this. You look at it, and it's got some green in the middle of it. I'm going to put the slide in here and put it underneath the little clips, and in the very middle of it, I'm going to, the stage, there's a hole, right, that the light comes up through. I'm going to put the broad bean leaf right in the dead center of it, and now I'm going to go to focus the microscope. So I'm going to use the smallest lens. That's the least magnification, right? This is called the turret. That's how you change magnification. I'm going with the smallest lens, so I have the least magnification. And I'm going to look in here, and I'm going to turn the focuser all the way down. I'm going to get it all the way in so it can't go any farther. And now I'm going to look for something blue-green. I can see my eyelashes. Don't get confused by that. And literally, I'm going to turn it. Watch my hand. I'm going to turn it this much. Are we zoomed in there? Which way does it need to go?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So you can see my hand. It's not in focus. And I'm starting to see it. And it's in focus right there. So that is all you have to turn it from there to there, and it's in focus. And we'll get calls from customers who they turn it real quick and go, there's nothing there, it won't focus. And I'll say, do you see, take the slide out, what do you see? White. Put the slide in, what do you see? Green. Okay, now focus really slowly. Focus so slow that you're effectively barely, almost not turning it. With it all the way down, it's going to come to focus in, I don't know, a 16th or a 32nd of a turn, maybe a 64th of a turn. It's going to be a significantly small amount, and it's going to come into focus. Now, once you get it into focus, it's a very simple thing. Let me get it focused again. And once you're past focus, you'll never find it again. You got to go all the way down and start over. There we go. And it's in focus. Now I'm going to go up. I'm going to turn which way I need to go to the turret. It says on here, put my glasses back on, and I'm going, we're looking at 100 power right now. I'm going to switch to 400 power, and it's significantly larger. The image gets darker because you're having more magnification, and now I'm going to crank it up to 900 power of magnification. Just turn it till it clicks. There it goes. And gee whiz, it is super magnified, and the focus is very, very critical. You barely turn it, and it changes focus because the depth of field is so narrow. Depth of field describes the area in which something is an acceptable focus. And on a telescope, it's massive. On a microscope, it's microscopic, no pun intended, far less than a millimeter will be in focus. So appreciate the people who are watching today. If you're on Amazon Live, give us a shout out on the chat button, and we'll be happy to answer your questions, help you out on any subjects you have, or ask us a question about what we're talking about right now. This is the Discovery 900 power microscope. Comes with prepared slides, comes with experiments you can do on growing salt crystals, brine shrimp, also gives you other experiments on the downloadable direction and experiment kit, so you can work on all sorts of cool science experiments with your National Geographic, with your Discovery brand 900 power biologic microscope. So we also sell some prepared slides. This is the Bresser high quality slide set. It comes with 10 prepared slides. These are glass slides. The Slides on the Discovery brand are plastic. You don't have to be real careful with them because they're just tough plastic. These prepared slides are glass. You can drop them and break them. Comes with a tomato leaf cross section, a lily anther, which is the male part of a lily flower. Get this back in here so I don't have to put them back in later. A corn stem cross section. It says Z-maize stem. Z-maize is, I believe, Latin for corn, for maize. This is a Volvox, a water creature. This is a diatom, another water creature. And this is a segment of a fly head right there. So it's a slice of a fly, and this is pretty cool to look at. You can see its internal organs is very, very slick. You can see on the next slide, this is a onion bulb root tip. They use root tips because root tips grow so fast that you can talk about cell division in here. You can actually see cells that are dividing and creating new volume, which is how that root tip grows through the ground, because it is a very fast-growing part of an onion plant. This is mitosis of animal cells. This is another division of animal cells. And human sperm smear, reproduction of the humans. And last but not least, a mouse smear. So if you ever do one of those genetic tests where you put the swab in your mouth and send it in, that's a mouse smear, just like this right here. Difference is we're looking at it on these breasts, are high quality prepared slides. You can find them over in the carousel right now. If you're out there, we'd love to get a comment from you, a howdy, a hi, a chat, something. So we're going to move on. Let's go back and talk about the binoculars real quick. I really like these binoculars. Talked about at the top of the broadcast. Want to talk about them again. These are the Bresser 6x21 binoculars, 6 power, 21 millimeter objective eyepiece. These are a kid's pair of binoculars, but I really like this pair. Very small, compact, very rugged. They're not waterproof, they're not fully coated, but they're manufactured to be really inexpensive. Hi, Kent, great show as always. Jane and I got one of these ES Bino microscopes last year, and it's been so much fun out rock hunting with our grandkids. This has very clear views from Egon Reich. Very good, Egon. Thank you for that comment. It is great for rock hunting. I would have loved to have had this microscope when I was a teenager, you know, out in the woods, carrying it with me, checking out things I found, whether it's leaves or twigs, butterflies, bugs, dead critters, whatever. I would have loved to have had this microscope with me. Heck, it'd be fun to look into pond water or some material growing in a pond and seeing what living critters are in there. Not microscopic, but wee little critters living in there that you can see with this microscope. Tariq from the UAE, hello, howdy all. Howdy, Tariq. Thank you for joining us today where we're talking about magnification. So I'm going to shift gears here in a little bit, but again, Egon, thank you for the endorsement of this microscope. Fantastic for, like you said, rock hounding, going out and looking at rocks, and you get a shiny rock or a pretty rock. It's always interesting to see what it looks like with a little bit of magnification. In this case, 20 power is what this microscope offers. All right, so we talked about the cellular filters. Let's talk about planispheres. This is a giant planisphere, and this is a regular sized planisphere. This is the Wilterian two-sided multi-latitude planisphere. If you want to look at something up in the sky, how do you know where to go? Well, if you want to drive to a town you don't know, you use a map. Well, this is a road map of the sky, and we've got a video that we're going to get up here in a second that shows you how to use a planisphere. I'm going to talk about this one specifically, drawn by renowned Dutch astrocartographer Will Tyrion. It's multi-latitude. It's good for people in the northern hemisphere who live anywhere from the equator north to 60 degrees. That encompasses almost everyone that lives in the northern hemisphere. Believe the Arctic Circle begins at 66 degrees north, so that means there's only 6 degrees between where this ends in the Arctic Circle. That's got to encompass almost everybody in the northern hemisphere. The way it works is you've got a northern side, which is what you see when you face north, and on the back side of it, and this is the cool part, you don't have to change the date and time settings. On the back of it, you have what you turn around and look south. This shows you the things in the sky that you can see to the south. Paul, you got that beautiful beam footage ready to roll? Channel for more how-to videos from Explore Scientific.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kent Marsh with Explore Scientific. One of the great things about modern amateur astronomy equipment is the ability to track the sky with the use of a computer, an iPad, or an Android tablet, and a motorized mount like the Explore Scientific PMC-8. But what if you're just starting out or have a mount that is manually controlled? How do you find celestial objects? All you need is a clear sky and a Tyrion two-sided planisphere. This planisphere, created by renowned celestial cartographer Will Tyrion, is for the northern hemisphere. If you don't have one of these, you can find it in our online store. Some of our products come with a smaller planisphere that works like this one, but uses 24-hour time and Roman numerals. Honestly, I prefer this one because it's easier to read and contains tons of information. This planisphere is for anyone in the northern hemisphere up to 60 degrees latitude north. A planisphere works by aligning the month, day, and time to show what's in the night sky at any time of the night throughout the year. One side shows the northern half of the sky, while the other side shows the southern half of the sky. Now let's line up the date and time. Let's say it's 10 p.m. on August 25th. The first thing to do is find 10 p.m. and it will be in the blue portion of the planisphere, just inside the date ring. Move the date ring to the position on August 25th. Line up the August 25th mark to 10 p.m. You're done. Easy. You now have a map that shows what the night sky looks like in the northern hemisphere at 10 p.m. on August 25th. The cool thing about this Tyrion two-sided planisphere is that once the time and date are lined up on one side, it's also lined up on the other. Now we have to orient ourselves to make the map reflect what's in the sky. The North Star, which is named Polaris, is almost exactly due north and should be the brightest thing you can see in that area of the sky. Once you found Polaris, you're facing north. Hold the planisphere with the northern side facing towards yourself and position Polaris inside the metal ring so it shines through. Super easy. If you're facing south, simply hold the planisphere level with your eyes to get your bearings. With the map correctly oriented, you should be able to find your way around the night sky. I'm Kent Martz. Keep watching our channel for more how-to videos from Explore Scientific. Two-sided multi-latitude planisphere. We have this giant one here just to show you because we like our toys big, right? Every big boys and the toys, right? We use this for demonstration purposes, but that video describes it really well. I'm sorry you have to watch me read off of a teleprompter. That's agony for me, but hey, I sacrifice for the good of the videos. So, I want to talk about a device right here that does not have any magnification, but is a useful item if you happen to have a telescope that uses a finder with a mini Vixen style dovetail. This is the new product from Explore Scientific. It is the Reflex Sight. This is a fantastic device that's been modernized for the new age, if you will. Has a dew shield that's built in, and this comes off real simply. Boom, it's off. It can be left on. I use a rubber band tape to rubber band it down so it doesn't slide when I'm not using it. But if dew comes up, it's real simple to put in the dew shield back in. Of course, you got to get it in the groove to start with, and then boom, when it's pointed at the sky as you're observing, the dew's not going to build up on the piece of glass. It's going to build up on the cover, and then you use it to change where you're looking at. How does this work? This has a reticule in it that has dots that glow red. Paul, you going to show that?
I don't have that at the moment. I can go put it on the website.
So, however you want to do it. You control where the red dot points by turning these three generously sized knobs right here. And how this works is you put it on your telescope and you point the telescope at something and get centered up on the telescope on the top of the tree that has a unique branch. And then you remove the housing, the blue shield, and you look up through it, and projecting out of the item and reflecting off of this piece of glass, you'll see the reticule. And when the reticule's there, you can turn it and move it so that the reticule lines up with what's in the center of the telescope's eyepiece. Once you've done that on land, and we recommend something that's miles away better than yards, and 1,000 yards is better than 100 feet. The farther away you are, the more accurate you're going to be. Paul's got the reticule up.
Not yet.
Put it up on the screen here in just a second. The reticule.
You just kind of have to wait.
Down or up, depending on the conditions that you have at your time of viewing. And here comes the reticule.
You can't. Hold on just a minute.
I'm gonna do a little bit of wee bit of processing.
Wait for me, man.
So it's gonna show up. Anyway, has a rheostat, a brightness control right here on the side. Very simple to use with a solid off click indicating it's off and on. Obviously, when you're not using it, turn it off so you save your batteries. Because nobody likes buying batteries when you could have just turned it off and it would have been hunky-dory. But no, you left it on and your batteries died. Although this LED reticle is going to sip power from the, I believe it's 3 AAA batteries. Let's just pop the bottom port open. I was wrong by a factor of 50%. There's only 2 AAA batteries in there, and hopefully
You just have to give me a second, okay?
up is going to come the rest.
Oh my
This
God.
has proven to be a really big seller. We have sold a bunch of these. Already talking about procuring the next production run because these are a hot item. People love them. They're currently priced, I believe, at $69.99. At the end of the month, they're going to go to $79.99, which would be regular price, not the introductory price. So that is coming up as well. So get yourself a deal and save yourself $10. Pick up the Explore Scientific Reflex Sight, a fine piece of kit for any visual astronomer in your family. You want to be the hero gift giver, buy your amateur astronomer a reflex sight, and they will be happy with you, most assuredly. Why is this on a magnification show? Well, it has 0 power magnification. That's the cool part. It's what you see. You open your eyes, you look through it. What you see in the sky is where it is. There's a picture of it. That's looking through the reticle reflex portion of the sight. And there's what the reticle looks like against the night sky. You can turn that brightness down to the point that you can you see very faint stars or planetary nebula in the background. A very simple thing to use. Really nice. No curves to hang on. Just looks sleek and elegant on top of your telescope. No matter what color it is, we went with the neutral black. It looks good on just about everything. Well, I'm starting to get a sore throat, and I think I'm going to feel a significant cough fit coming on. I think we're going to go ahead and sign off a little bit early for the day. Because of that, my voice is dry and it's not feeling so hot right now. I appreciate.
We do have a question or two.
What'd you say, Paul?
We do have a question or two.
All right, we can field some questions real quick. And here come the questions. They'll pop up on my monitor. Tariq, I'm sure your 8-inch f6 is a Newtonian, then collimation is necessary. Yes, Tariq is commenting on a previous post about absolutely. There is, as Tariq points out absolutely correctly, there's collimation you need to learn how to do. There is a secondary mirror and a primary mirror in there. There is a skill that you have to develop on how to get those two mirrors lined up correctly. I will tell you this, if you take the eyepiece off and just close one eye and look down the draw tube where the eyepiece came from, and look in there, you're going to see concentric circles. Your goal is to get those concentric circles stacked up on top of each other. So if the circles are off, you want to get those circles moved so they stack up on top of each other. In the very center, you should see your eye looking back at you. If then a simple collimation, and we'll be happy to help you through that. You can contact us here on Amazon by going to our Explore Scientific store and clicking on contact the seller, and we will help you through that process as well. Paul, what else you got?
That's it.
That's it. All right. So, gonna knock off for today. As I said, was out in the sun all weekend calling baseball, and boy, it was hot and just knocked the zippity-doo-dah out of me. And gonna be recovering for a few days, drinking water. So, I appreciate everybody who's joined us today on the broadcast. Thank you very much for the donation of your time. Oh, I haven't said this. If you're watching this and like what you see, find that follow button and click that follow button so you'll get notified of our future broadcast. We're on at 2 on Amazon Live at 2 o'clock Central Time, Monday through Friday, unless something comes up. But we're here about 95 or more % of the time. But you click that follow button and you'll get notified when we come on live. Can't think of anything else to say other than click that like follow button if you haven't already done it. If you have, bless you for it. Folks, we've got a good lineup. Annie will be here tomorrow. I'll be back Wednesday and Thursday. And either Annie or I will be doing a focus on astrophotography show on Friday because Tyler is on vacation. Nobody approved it, but by golly, he just went anyway. Just kidding. He's on approved vacation. So, once again, thank you for your time. I think I've said it 3 or 4 times. I'm starting to be a broken record. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Paul Newton over the control booth, the disembodied voice, and Noah Marketplace Menard, Noah Wave, we were all waving back. Hey, Noah. And everybody else here at Explore Scientific, I'm Kent Martins. Thanks for joining us.